Hi everyone, my name is Sam Mendoza, and I'm gonna be presenting to you Netflix. I'm pretty sure we all are a little bit familiar with the platform. So Netflix is a streaming platform created in 1997 and is still present to this day. The company offers a variety of movies, TV shows, series, films, and much more. You can watch them as many times as you want, anywhere you want, anytime, and you only need to get a subscribe for as little as $6.99. You can go up to 24.99 if you want to, but that's dependent on your liking and your needs. Uh, Netflix philosophy is people over the process. According to Netflix, it's all about investing in a great team of talented people who are excited to pursue ambitious shared goals. On a dream team, we encourage collaboration, shared information, and discourage politics. Uh, and I'm going to talk about how we try to approach this and how do we build our dream. So for Netflix, their dream team has to be diverse. And why? Because Netflix is a company with global reach. So there's people in Asia, there's people in South America, there's people in Europe watching. So we know there's nothing better than being represented. So Netflix's greatest impact in storytelling uh, Netflix creates impact test storytelling, and we create and connect test stories to people all around the globe. Then again, representation matters, and being a company of global reach, knows that people around the globe should be represented and should be able to be identified uh, with what the company reflects, what the products, what the movies, why they're serious. And to achieve this, what better than having people from different places, races, backgrounds, people with different stories, with different experiences. So who's better than these communities that we want to represent them? So what better than that community to represent itself? But representation on the screen starts with representation in our office. Our work has to be internal first so that we can impact what we do externally. We believe that we'll do better if our employers come from a different background and if we create an environment of inclusion and belonging for them. Uh, then again, it is important. The company has a global outreach, and according to the reports they gave us, um, they are trying to show this diversity by showing us that 48% of the film's leading roles were women, and 54.5% of the leading roles on the series were women. And then we have here overall the 44.1% were women. Then if you want to see them separately, we got these numbers right here. Uh, and Netflix outspaced top box office films behind the camera. So behind the camera, we have directors. Compared to the others, Netflix has higher numbers of women. So we got directors 23.1, writers 25.2, and producers we got 29% of them being women, which is great if you see the numbers that the other companies have. So creators, producers, writers, directors, we see the numbers, the industry versus Netflix. Obviously, Netflix has a bit of greater numbers of producers. Our 36.7 industry, there's a 40% writers. Netflix, we have a 36.4. The industry got 30. Netflix and directors has 27.7. The industry's 28. We're still a little bit. We got to go up a little bit more on that, but it's better than nothing. So I like to say like a win is a win. Um, and we'll continue with women of color leading roles in movies. So compared to the industry, uh, we got the ones on Red, it's Netflix. So 42.1% white males are represented compared to the industry, which is a 35%. White females got leading roles 30.2. Compared to the industry, they have 28.5. People of color, males of color, We have 19% compared to the industry, which is 17. We've got another 19 on the female side compared to the 12% on the industry. So underrepresentative creatives across Netflix. We've got 16.9 directors were underrepresented, 16.4 of the writers were underrepresented, and 13% of producers were underrepresented. So again, we're trying to improve all that. Black leaders and co-leaders in main cast across Netflix. We have leads and co-leaders, leads being 24.1% of people of color, and then we got 10.8, and then as main cast we got 20.8%, and 18.5 for the series. Again, Jello the series, Red Films. Here we got Asians, Latinx, and main Native Americans, communities, leading roles and co-leading and main cast on the films and series. We are seeing like great numbers. We got Latins with a 4%, and then as a main cast, we got 3.6, and then it goes on and on. We got 14 Asian communities represented in Netflix series and shows. Then again, that's great. We got Indian representation, Japanese, Chinese, Filipino, Korean, Indonesian, Pakistanis, Singapore, Thai, Malaysia, Lithuanian, Nepalese, Tibetan, which is like a total of 7.7% of the films, and a total of 6.6 of the series. Then again, great. Latins behind the scenes, 1% of the films are directors, 5 are producers, another 2 are Afro-Latinos. On the series, we got 3% of creators, producers, 2% of writers, directors, and 22 are Afro-Latino. And here we go to people with disabilities and people that pertain to the LGBT community. We got leading co-leads films. We got series at a 4%. Films at a 4%, series at a 1.1, main cast 4.3, series again 6.1, and then speaking characters we got 2% of the films and a 3.3 of the series. We see it again here. Oops. And then why do we care about all of this? Well, my conclusion is according to the articles consulted and the information provided regarding diversity, we can totally be able to say that the company is consistent with its philosophy and with their approach to be diverse, and it's shown gradually incorporated into like people in programs correspond to diverse groups, and we can appreciate that in some of the shows. Atypical is one of the series. Atypical shows people with disabilities. In this case, it's autism, and then we also see representation for the LGBT community. The harder they fall, it shows a great representation of the Black community. There's a Black representation. Never Have Ever has great representation for Asians, Indians, and Black people. Again, there's a really diverse cast and walking through the life of a Indian woman. And then Love on the Spectrum, again, that is showing the love of people in the autism spectrum. And Squid Game represents the Asian community. And then we got Ginny in Georgia. It represents differences. I think you can see differences in between people of color and white people. And you got to see Asians as well as part of the cast, and you're walking through things that people go through. So yeah, I think they do really meet their goal.